Okay guys, very quick update with Bitcoin. I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet, get right to the point. I got some people coming out to do some work, so I need to get this video up pretty fast. But I just want to show you, so in the last video, I did tell you guys that we could get a bounce from this ring, but once we cross it, we would get a drop because every time we cross one of these orange rings, we always get a drop. That is this video here. I will put a link up to it now. If you go to, there's about 3 minutes and 40 seconds in, I was explaining, I said, yes, we could get a bounce, but once we cross it on the daily, you would go short. And that is what we did in Discord. Once we crossed the ring, we got a drop. Take note this fib line here, where we got a slight bounce. Take note this fib line below is where we held support. That is this chart here. As you can see, this is that next fib line down. We found perfect support, literally to the dollar at 81,275. Your next daily support on this chart on the D1 chart is 81,400. So again, as long as you're above that point and you want to stay long, that's fine. We have a gap above us as well, and I want to show you what area we need to get below for me to consider us in bear market territory. So we're going to cover all of that. Guys, we can get a leverage trading coin catch. It's a great option. No KYC, no VPN. If you want to sign up, I'll put a link up now if you want to use my sign up link. Also, they are having specials. If you deposit, this is the events page for their specials and bonuses. I'll put a link up to this now if you want to check it out. All of these links will be pinned in the first comment description. If you deposit $1,000, you will receive a $3,000 bonus to trade with. It's 30 slots every 7 days. They also have other ones where you deposit $500, you can get $750 back to trade with, 300 slots every 7 days. And if you do take advantage of those bonuses and specials, you can't get free access to my charts in Discord. Again, just read the events page, it's all there. And if you want to learn how to trade on CoinCats, tutorial video I put up teaching you how I use all of the tools, or just the tools I use and how to protect yourself. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. And remember, you can't get access to all these live charts in Discord. Again, the website's pinned in the first comment description. If you do sign up to the Bitcoin altcoin charts at $49 option, make sure you email me through the contact page to get access to Discord. So let's just jump into this, guys, and let's just blow through it. I can tell you right now, so we are holding support above 81,300. That's current support. But we have a gap above. And again, guys, like I said, when we got a daily open, if you watch that last video, I said yes, we could get a bounce because it's happened at the rings, these orange rings. But I said, and I told you guys, every time we cross a ring, we always get a drop. Now, it wasn't a big drop, but it was a drop nonetheless. We dropped down to 81,000. We are holding support. Do keep in mind the daily MACD. You can see that it goes from red to green, and you can see we're about to get a possible bearish cross on the MACD. I would like to point out the RSI is a little low, but again, pay attention to these daily crosses on the moving average and the MACD. Typically, when they cross bearish, we get a drop. If we don't get a cross, we could push up. So again, stay bullish above 81K, and then we have a CME gap. You can see that CME gap, and a lot of times what happens, now these gaps tend to get filled, price will go out of its way to fill it, but a lot of people long up to this point expecting that gap to get filled, and then they'll send it back down to stop them out or liquidate them. And make this a little bigger. Those price, everybody be longing to this point because this gap will get filled. We just don't know when. We could just kind of chop sideways, maybe drop, push up, but this gap will get filled eventually, and then either price will continue up or come down. But we have a gap right up around 83,975, close to 84,000. So do keep that in mind. Currently holding support around 81,635. And that gap does coincide with where we broke down from, right around here. This red arrow. So again, this is where we came down. We found support. This is a trend line. We found right here, this support level, 79,800. Support at 81,159. And we found support again, 83,564. We pushed up, we crossed, and then we dropped. So we have a lot of resistance up around 84,000. And we have a gap there. So if you push up, around 84,300, possibly 84,500. There's a lot of resistance to be a point too short. If we get above and hold above 84,700, your next point to potentially long to or short is going to be the top of this channel that I've been talking about for quite a while. And I do need to explain why I believe, or where I think bear market territory will be. Now again, while we are holding support, and again, as you can see, that was the line where we crossed this ring, and that was that next fib channel line below, and you can see perfect support on that line. So that means if we break this fib line, your next fib line below is all the way down here. It depends when you make contact. We drop straight down today. That's around 77,720. Find that very unlikely. But what I want to point out is if we get below 80K and hold under that as resistance, I think that is bear market territory. That means we're just going to continue to push up, get rejected, push up, get rejected. Every time you push up, you would go short. You would short resistance. Right now, as long as you're above 80K, anything could happen. We could start pushing back up. But again, remember, Trump's going to impose these tariffs on April 2nd. And if he does that, I think markets could come down a lot. Maybe he changes his mind, he doesn't do that, and the markets start pushing back up. And then that scenario plays out where we just push up and this ring becomes resistance. We'll have to see. But I do know that this is a very important line. This orange trend line, I've been talking about it for, feels like almost a year now. This yellow line, this orange line, and this red line below. But I can tell you this, if we're below 80K, I think we're bear market territory, not to mention we'll be breaking down from this channel, and as you can see right here, this is the top of that channel. That was resistance. It was support briefly, then it became resistance. It was resistance, we broke into it, and then it became support, and then we had a daily open below, and I said that was bearish, at least down to support. We filled that gap, and then we pushed back into the channel. So now we are at the bottom, or getting near the bottom of that channel, and that just happens to coincide with that that macro orange trend line. So basically, just letting you know, guys, if we're below 80K, that's when I start to think we're in bear market territory. And just to show you, this is that trend line. So if we drop straight down today, that trend line, today's candle, that's around 79,600. But let's just say, this next fib line, and again, we will respect these fib lines. Every time we hit them, we get a bounce. But let's just say where these two intersect. If we drop down and went sideways, 78,500 is where this fib line right here, this red fib line, that's where it intersects. This bottom of this channel intersects this fib line from 78,500. So if we got down to that point and we pushed back up and got rejected at around 80K, that is very bearish. But again, I would be scalping above 80K. Once we get below 80K, then I would be holding my shorts. But we did drop. We just didn't drop that much. And seeing how much the markets came down last week on Friday, like over 800 points. Currently, the markets are down 238. You got to keep that in mind, guys. If markets are down, Bitcoin is going to follow the markets. So do pay attention to the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P. But I just wanted to point that out. This is that chart, and this is that other, you can see this trend line here, this green line here. So it was resistance, 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 resistance. This is where we got rejected right before that ring around 87,425. Well, keep in mind, if we push up, depending when we make contact, that's also a resistance. If it was today, that's around 86,270. If it takes a few days, that's around 85,000. But again, this is a very key level. This orange macro trend line and this yellow line. So if we break above 85K, right, and we push up, another target to watch will be up around 90, let's say 93,000 to possibly 94,000. And I can show you why these lines are so important. So if we zoom out, you can see right here. This was our peak in April 16, 2021. This was our peak in November, the 9th of November, 2021. So that was a support level that broke. That means if we push up, that will also be a resistance level. And it's no coincidence that this green, was support, will flip as resistance right at where that yellow macro trend line is. And I made a video about this where these lines intersected. I said I was shorting this point, but I said if we get above this, expect a major pump. And take note, when we hit that ring as resistance, that's where we got, that was pretty much the top before we formed this pattern and then pushed higher. But like I said, every time we cross an orange ring, we always drop. Every time we cross an orange ring, we always get a drop. Same here and back there. So again, we did get a drop, but we did not drop that far. So we need to pay attention to what's going on with the markets as far as tariffs and all of this. But I just wanted to point out, for me, below 80K, in my opinion, would be bear market territory. How far we go, have no idea. I can tell you the next major support level I have on this chart, down 67K. We'll have to, let's say, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But if you want to stay bullish, depending on how you're playing this, as long as you have a stop below 80K, if you're bullish, it's fine. But I'd be looking for some major moves for shorts or just getting out if we get below 80K. But this is our current resistance to pay attention to, and more than likely we will come up and fill that gap. You can see people are longing to it, and then markets are down, so price is coming down, but we do have a gap around 84K. A lot of confluence. That's where we broke down from, right? When we crossed that ring right here, when we got that daily open pass, that's when we dropped, and then we came down to support. So just want to show you that, and then we do have some. If you'll notice right here, this again, this is CME chart. This is a rising wedge. You can see support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. We broke down from this pattern. We held support. So we could come up, fill this gap, and then come back up and test the bottom of this wedge, which was previous support flipped as resistance. That could put in a double top here, and that would be around... That'd be around 88,000, maybe 89,000, depending on when you make contact. That is a target to pay attention to. And again, that does coincide with the top of this channel, right? And this fib line, this is around 88,600. And then you do have that yellow macro trend line that I was talking about, around 93K. So again, those are your most important targets to pay attention to, at least on the daily. As far as the hourly, guys, so currently you can see we're holding support. We're teetering. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. We're teetering right at 82,073. We'll see if this becomes support or resistance. Your next support level just below is around, and notice we found perfect support back here, right here, right at 81,591. Pushed up, then dropped back down. But it looks like we'll have to find out if this holds the support or not. Remember, we have that gap above. More than likely, it will get filled. And then we have our next resistance level above, which is around 84,400. This is also where the central Bollinger Band on the daily is. And then your next most critical resistance level above is going to be around 87,000. Just want to say 87,000. Let me put this back down here. So again, your next resistance level above is around 84,400. That will fill that gap. Next key, most critical resistance will be this white line right here. Be around 87,000, and same thing like I showed you guys. We have this rising wedge, all right, and then your next major resistance above that. So that's what I'm saying. Not 88,000 up to 92,000. Very key resistance level. You can see this is a rising wedge. We broke down from it. A lot of times we'll come back up, test it as resistance, and then get rejected. So just wanted to point that out. As for a bullish scenario, well, we know that if we get above 92,000, 93,000, then I think it's possible that scenario I talked about where, sometimes we'll cross these rings, we'll drop, we'll hold support, and then we'll just push up, and we'll push up, and then at some point we'll make contact with this, and maybe that will be a double top here. And that would be the point you'd want to go short, because that ring will be resistance. So just wanted to cover those key levels. But again, if we break below 80K, I think it's bear market territory. And then we'll have to see how far we go. But the first major support level I have if we break 80K is around 67,212. So guys, I hope that explains everything. Again, if you get into leverage trading, CoinCash, great option. No KYC, no VPN. That link, if you want to sign up, is pinned in the first comment description. Also with the link, if you want to check out their events and specials to get bonuses, and do check out that tutorial video to teach you how to use all the tools to trade with. And guys, that's it. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.